tonight. And Bill and I will be starting at 7 o'clock, followed by People Are Loud Movers. I never heard of them. Lamont Eastman will be coming up after that at the very end. So this is in the newspaper this week. Get out there. Have a good evening of music. How nice. You know, how many places can you go to where you have a carousel of musicians all over the area? When I was in Europe, this is very typical when they have their festivals, especially this time of year. You just walk, like for instance in Brussels I was at, and you go from one part of the city to another, and you might have a bluegrass. I know it seems hard to believe in Belgium you'd have a bluegrass group, but music's universal, and people adopt a lot of the sounds from all around the world. Another corner there might be more of a musical drum group, and then another group rock and roll or jazz or so forth. So again, check it out tonight, supporting a great cause, Infinity. Now, this is an announcement that I got late just before I went on the air here. Randy Burt, our famous cameraman, technician, there he is. He tells me today, if you can't, early in the day, before you go to hear the music for the Infinity Group, there's going to be the second annual, let me see if I got this right, Lawnmower Poker Run. Our words, we're not sure if that's the exact title, but it's registrations at 9 o'clock in Mayville. Is it at the park, perhaps? Down in
It's on the hill at Legion.
Oh, the Legion, up on the hill in the Legion. I'm sure there's going to be signs up there, but it's in Mayville. And this is a great cause. It's supporting hospice. So if you have a garden tractor that's still running after a long summer of cutting grass, after all this rain we have, I guess you could enter. I guess there's prizes, and they have a great time, and they're raising money for hospice. So the second annual Lawn Mower Poker Run today. I can't imagine watching 100 or 200 lawn tractors and push mowers, everything going down the road, but it sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, normally at this time I'm sitting over the other side talking about something important, and I'm going to do that, and then we're going to go into a little contemplation. But you can't pick up the newspaper, you can't pick up or turn on the TV today, the radio, whatever, without hearing about 911. So I thought I'll just do my piece. Just like I'm sure all of you, when John Kennedy was shot, the man on the moon, first time, we all kind of know, for those of you that remember, that were here, where we were at that moment. I remember on September 11th, 2001, I was the regional administrator at BOCES at the Hughes Educational Center, and I was in my office, and my good friend now, Frank Stowe, who was the head custodian, came walking in. Now, if you know Frank is probably about 6'100", and he fills the doorway like a mountain man, big old beard, and he says quietly to me something to the effect, "Doc, there's something going on. Some little plane has just like crashed into the World Trade Center." And he said, you know, I'm just kind of giving you a heads up that something weird's going on. And I looked at him, and it's like, what are you talking about? An airplane crashing into the World Trade Center? And then it couldn't have been like 2-3 minutes later, he walks back in, and he says, "We got to get on the TV right now." We pulled the TV in there, and we watched this thing unfolding, and it was almost surrealistic. It was much like watching one of these things out of Hollywood where the airplanes are going around the Empire State Building, but this time it was for real. And I gotta tell you, that moment in time where Frank and I stood there in my office watching this on TV will never, ever go away. It's left a lasting impression on me, and I don't talk about it too much, but I've been reliving a lot of those moments thereafter and just feeling about what I should be feeling about as an administrator and how to keep everybody calm in my school system and in my community and so forth. And today now we see all the horrors of this continue with the health of the firemen and the rescuers that went into those sites with the dust and so forth. Just how this whole situation has affected us as a country, a world, how we've changed all of our procedures and safety and so forth. This is definitely one of those that will go down in history as probably one of the most devastating experiences that a nation could ever go through. And perhaps if you're listening right now, you can call in and share those moments with us on television here live. Call us in. Let's put the phone number up. A lot of people never call because we get just a handful of calls. But Jeff, maybe you can put that up for us. It's 753, that's my name, that's right, but let's get the phone number, 753-5, there you go, 5225, also Jack. It's you call in, we've got somebody, hopefully we'll catch your calls. We had a little technical difficulty earlier, but anyways, I want to get to our guest today. She's been very patiently sitting next to me. The segue is this, folks. Safety, safety, safety. Today we're going to talk about children's safety. After 911, we've learned valuable lessons about not taking things for granted, to be prepared, to expect the unexpected. And right now, I want to take a little contemplation, maybe 20, 30 seconds. Think about where you were on that day and what it means to you today, and feel the good things that we still have in our lives here in America. This is for you. For that. That's a great shot of Chautauqua County, and again, we have to remember all the good things we do have and appreciate them more and more as time goes by. This morning I have a very special guest, friend of mine that is the executive director of the Chautauqua Children's Safety Education Village. She's here to talk to you about all the good things that are going on and how we keep our children safe. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend terrikindberg. Good morning, Terry. How are you?
Good morning. Great. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm so happy that you're here today. This is a busy lady. It took us, they want us to get closer. It took us a couple tries to get you here because she's a busy lady, got lots of things going on. But before we get into all that, I was telling Terry that, last time you were on, we kind of did the usual, this is the program, but we didn't really get to know you very much. So you can look up at that red light or look at Randy and just talk to him. That's the easiest way, because I always look down at the monitor and look at myself and wave. But tell the folks about yourself a little bit, where you're from and where you're born and your family and all that good stuff. Take a minute. It's no problem.
Well, I was born and raised in the small town of Kennedy, and I am a mother of 4. Mm-hmm. I'm also a registered nurse. I worked many years at WCA Hospital, and then also my most recent employment was through Jamestown Pediatrics, which I had a wonderful time working there. Many of the children in the area will definitely recognize that place. I became involved with the Children's Village about 5 years ago, and have just loved my job. I do go in several different directions, but I really enjoy working with the children and meeting people in the community and so forth, and I'm very excited about the programs that we have there and the difference that we make in lives of children in our area.
So you're a mom of 4, so you know kids. So
I do.
What's your age group for your kids?
Well, I just sent my oldest off to college.
All right, one down.
Yeah, that was definitely an adjustment in our family. And then I have a 13-year-old son. I have another son who is 9, and then I have a little guy who just turned 5 and just headed off to kindergarten.
So you go from 5 to 18?
18.
So that's a 13-year. You have me. I have 11-year span between my crew.
Yeah.
but I remember you saying that I had kids that one was in diapers and one was just starting to shave.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I've seen your kids at the village, and I didn't realize you had 4. I mean, every once in a while pop up and say, that one looks like the last one I just saw.
Yeah.
And I think I met your daughter in the last year or so. So it's
Right.
really nice to know that. Okay. Well, about your husband, what's he do and where's he at these days?
Yep. His name is Kindberg. He's the president of Lynn Funeral Home. Has been there
In Jamestown.
several years. Yep. It's a family-owned business.
Okay.
So his grandfather is the one that originally started Lynn Funeral Home many years ago.
With the last name Lind?
Lind.
Okay. So I mean that was your grandfather's last name.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And so he's 3rd generation.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now I'm getting some gestures here. My mic is Gone again. What is going on here? Where is it? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, we were trying a different setup here with the microphone, so give me a second here. I don't know what's going on. Okay, we're back. High-tech stuff here. Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right, so where were we? So the Safety Education Village, how about in a nutshell, what is it?
Well, first of all, we are a non-for-profit organization. It started about 15 years ago with a group that visited the village in Waterloo, Canada. It was a group from the Shatoma Club. They loved what they saw there and thought it would be a great idea to bring back to this area. So they approached Sheriff Gerasi, who, once he checked into it, really was on board with it and said, you know, we really need to do this in our area. So it started as a grassroots project way back when. I think you were...
One of the early ones, yeah.
Yes, and...
Thank you for mentioning that. I didn't have white hair anywhere on me at the time.
Yeah.
And Joe had hair on his head.
Right.
You heard that first here.
But, so what it is, it's a miniature village. We have 26 sites there at the village, and we have different buildings that have been sponsored from various clubs and businesses. We have the Kiwanis Club and McDonald's, Walmart, Tim Hortons.
Okay,
I could go through.
Yeah, Randy's going to shoot them. And Randy, why don't you just take your time and maybe Terry can just tell which ones they are, maybe until you run out. So let's start with any picture you want, Randy. And okay, that's obviously what it is.
Yep. McDonald's and donated by Tom Myers.
Now, can you go in there and buy a hamburger?
I wish you could, but when we have our special community events, you know, we do have McDonald's involved in that, and they also give us certificates to hand out to the kids.
Okay, so that's just one building. Oh, what's this?
Well, actually, that is children in our cars at the village. This is part of our safety training class for traffic. We're going to go into that in a few minutes.
Sure, okay. So we have 26 buildings, so maybe we can shoot some more of the buildings and we'll get to the children here in a bit. There's so we saw McDonald's, you said Walmart. Now, which one's this now?
This is Allied Fire.
Okay. And why would Allied Fire or Walmart or anybody, why in the world would they want to put a building up in the village? I mean, what's the catch here? What's the draw?
Well, I think first of all, it's advertisement for their particular business, but also there's involvement with the Safety Village. I believe that each of those businesses feel strongly about children and trying to improve their lives and safety and so forth. Right. And when we have our community events, they are welcome to be part of those events and pass out brochures or you know, literature on their business.
Okay, so it sounds to me that these 26 different agencies, companies, whatever, we just saw Lakeshore Savings, the credit union. Now, who's the fire station? Is that for the whole county?
Yeah, that was several of the local fire departments that went together and built that.
So all these folks are saying this is an important thing.
Yeah.
And wow, Tim Hortons. Can't get coffee, I guess. But I see you dragging around a lot of coffee from time to time at various events.
Absolutely.
But these folks are folks just like ourselves. They're businesses, they're shop owners, whatever, that say, you know, we need to focus on our children and their safety. What are some of the main themes of the Safety Village? You mentioned we saw the children there a minute ago, but what are some of the main things that we talk about and what happens?
Well, there are three main areas that we address right now: fire safety, traffic safety, and bicycle safety. Okay. And I think in some of the pictures that you'll see when related to our fire safety class, we have children that are bussed in from schools all over Chautauqua County and the surrounding areas. We've had schools as far as Meadville, Pennsylvania, and so forth. But what we do is when the kids come, they are split into two different classes. And the first group goes to the fire safety side, and the other class goes to the traffic safety side.
Okay, hang on a second. So let's make this real. We're sitting in Mayville. So some children come in from Chautauqua Lake Central School. What grade? How old are they?
as early as preschool,
Okay.
so 3, 4 years old, on up to 4th grade.